I don't really have a schedule. I mean, I'll write when the moment hits me. I'll be watching TV or something, and I'll suddenly get this sort of, I don't know, welling up of emotion and some kind of image, and I'll go, oh. And I'll run over to the computer and do my one-finger miracle. And these are all books that I've been published in. And it's not actually complete. There's actually some titles that are missing. And then the rest of these 3 shelves here, 4 shelves, are just books that people have sent me over the years. I get a lot, and I get people sending me their work. They want me to review it. I started writing poetry when I was in high school. I think everybody goes through that phase, and it's just abysmally awful, horrible stuff that I'll never share with the world. You know, it'll never see the light of day. I was living in San Pedro. I started writing poetry again, and it sort of felt like it was different, you know, like I sort of found my voice. Well, I didn't sort of find it, I did find my voice. It didn't sound sort of whiny and confessional. It was more autobiographical. I discovered that there was this thing called the small press, and that there were all these little magazines out there in the world that would publish your poetry. And I tried getting into a lot of the LA magazines like Caffeine and magazines like that, but of course I couldn't because I didn't really meet the criteria, whatever the criteria was. I'm still not clear. So I went out beyond LA and started sending my stuff all over the country, and I sent it to a few places in Britain, you know, in the UK. And I just kept plugging away at my writing, and you know, but at the same time I was also doing the magazine called the Lummox Journal, which I did monthly for 8 years, and then bi-monthly for 3 more years. And I started to get the idea that maybe I could actually produce like a little book or something, you know. Like the first book I did was an anthology, which had a really steep learning curve. It's not just a question of getting the material together and then presenting it to the printer and having them do it. There's like, you always have to go back and contact the poets and make sure that everybody's on board, and you know, like that kind of stuff. I put out 2 books in '98, the first 2 books, and they looked really cool, and I thought, oh, this is nice. I have this potential of having like this little sort of series that would be, people would come to go, oh, it's the Little Red Books. That's always good poetry. That was my goal.
How many Little Red Books have you published altogether?
59 titles in 10 years. Next year I'm going to publish the best of the first 10 years of Little Red Books.
It sounds like you're doing 2 different lines. You have the Little Red Books,
right,
and then you have books that are
I'm starting to move
different.
into this larger, more, you know, more commercial format. But I'll still keep doing the Little Red Books because I really like doing them. You know, it's usually based on people that I've met over the years. Met being, you know, a very figurative word, because I mean, literally, I've never met most of the people I publish. Like this guy John Yamris, I've been corresponding with him for years, and I've never met him. I just called him the other day. Now I know what his voice sounds like, but you know, you don't need. It's like just sort of like you're connecting with these people all over the world, and you have no sense of who they are except by what they tell you, or you know, when you correspond with them. I usually get solicitations sometimes. Like I published a guy named Rob Plath last year, and he contacted me on MySpace and said, I've got some poems, maybe you'd like to look at them. I looked at them, I liked what I saw. I said, do you have a manuscript? He said, yes. I said, email it to me.
So you've gotten to know a lot of different poets by publishing them.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of the people that I used to publish on a regular basis when I was doing the print magazine have kind of dropped off and are not sending me work. I have it up online now, and they don't really, I kind of miss them, you know, because I would get these letters from people, or these emails from people from all over the place. And I mean, I must have read thousands of poems over the 10 years that I did the Lummox Journal, easily, probably 5,000 poems. and probably took like 5% of them for publication.
Is there some dimension that they share in terms of what you like about their work?
Well, I kind of cut my teeth on Bukowski. He would say things in a way that would just nail it right on the head. You know, it was clean, crisp, succinct, not a lot of flowery imagery, just boom, there it is. And that's kind of what I look for. And it comes in all kinds of different ways. Like, you know, Rebecca Morrison, I published her, and that's that anthology. And she said to me, I don't write like Bukowski. I said, you don't have to write like Bukowski. You have the spirit. I like Jerry Loughlin's work a lot. I like Will Taylor. He's up out in San Francisco. He's really good. Scott Weinberg. I mean, his style is so weird and quirky, but sometimes he really nails it down. The imagery is really amazing. The distribution is based on two elements. One element is the poet, obviously. If the poet is serious about their book, then they'll help to promote it. And that's good. If they don't promote it, it doesn't sell. I don't publish any more poetry by them. It's a waste of my time and money. The other way that the distribution comes about is me sending their books out to be reviewed by other people around the country. Sometimes I send stuff to Europe sometimes. This last year I started using a print-on-demand service. I get my books really cheaply from them. And as soon as I accept the book for publication, it immediately goes online and is available online. Like this guy John Yamris, we put his book online last week, and I'm already getting orders for it. And I don't even have any copies. Yeah, I sort of became more of a publisher than a poet, or known more as a publisher than a poet. Now I'm trying to claw my way back into the poetry world. So that's why I did the 4 books this last year, 2008. You know, so I just wanted to kind of get the all my favorites down into a volume or two and just see what happens. I've been writing, seriously writing for like the last 15, 16 years. You know, I've got a pretty good body of work in that time, and people seek me out for my opinions and stuff, but when it comes to like trying to get a reading in Los Angeles, it's almost impossible, because now it seems like most of the readings in LA are more academically driven. Like there's a whole new batch of MFAs out there running readings, and I'm not a academic poet. I'm not seen as an academic. I wouldn't say I was, because I never went to college, so I can't claim that, you know. But I still give a pretty good reading, I think. Corazon, which means heart in Spanish. The walking stick leaning in the corner knows it, and so do I. The wanderlust beckons. Soon enough, your silhouette in the doorway, slipping my embrace. The long shadow, the creaking of the gate, the final wave from the crest of the hill. The wind that whistles through the treetops will bring nothing but the memory of your sighs. Though I search the sky for a message, I will find only clouds, feathers, and dust, pale light, and a hint of winter. No trace of you. Now it begins, the season of long shadows and the silence of stone.